It has only the effect of adding the language whether the previous amendment had been adopted or not. It only inserts language, and that language could have been inserted in the amendment or it can be inserted here. It doesn't change the substance. I understand what you're talking. I looked at the exact same thing because I wanted to determine if the First Amendment was adopted, whether it would make this amendment out of order. If this amendment is adopted, it'll make the next amendment out of order because the exact same language would have been amended. I assume the lady has done it in that fashion that if she doesn't get this amendment, she's going to seek the next one. But this amendment, I believe, is in order.
Further parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true then that this amendment is contrary to the one we just passed? And is it not true? Would suggest we vote this down.
Well, I think all it does is change the date on which this ends to 2014.
Significantly so. Is it not true?
I don't know if it's significant or not. It puts it would put it back to the condition that it existed prior to our amendment, which is 50-50.
Not this amendment, sir.
Well, I believe that's what it does. I'll look at it again, beginning on January 1st, 2009, and ending
is it true this
on June 30th, 2014. It changes the sunset. It would insert a longer sunset than the amendment we just adopted. So I guess the answer is yes, it would be for a longer period of time, the effect of the amendment. I misspoke. What purpose does Representative Gardner rise?
Mr. Speaker, would you repeat what you just said?
Your amendment would make the provisions of the previous amendment effective for a longer period of time than the amendment. The amendment adopted, as I read it, looks like it expires in 2011. This would extend it to 2014.
That being the case, Mr. Speaker, I would like to withdraw my amendment and the subsequent amendment.
The lady has that right. There's objection. I'll ask the question. If you move, the lady says she does not move. She wishes to withdraw her amendment. And the lady also, there's a second amendment. There's Representative Gardner. She wishes to withdraw those amendments. The amendments are withdrawn. Got one more amendment, Mr. Clerk. Clerk will read the next amendment.
Representative Day of the 163rd, Representative Gardner, move to amend Senate Bill 39 as follows. Restore lines 59 through 79.
Is there objection to the adoption of the amendment? Is there objection? All right, there is objection. So gentleman move. Gentleman moves. My job is not to debate these, it restores the stricken language. As Representative King, what purpose do you rise? I was answering your question before.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry, I know it's late, but restore lines 59 to 79. I'm usually the last guy in the room to understand. I understand that, but what does the amendment do?
It restores the language on page 2 that was stricken that starts with the word provide. Now, I'll tell you what I learned today. Y'all all probably know this. Until this year, we had always used page and line numbers. I'd never seen us with a line 95 or 59. I didn't know what to do with that. So I thought the amendment was out of order initially, and they corrected me and said Legislative Council now drafts our bills. Did you know that, Mr. Majority Leader?
No, I've learned something else today.
We're both
so
learning
it's a good
something.
day, yeah.
So, in fact, lines 59 through 79 exist in the bill. And I guess from now on we're going to be referring to them by line items. And so on a 100-page bill, I guess we'll get up to 9,852 or whatever the number is.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And you and on me. What purpose does Representative Shipp rise? She asked. What purpose does Representative Levitas rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Has the author of the amendment signed up to speak to explain what the purpose of the bill would be?
Previous question's been ordered. That would be out of order.
Would they be able to do it through parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker?
The Speaker Pro Tem is chastising me for allowing this to go on. He's right. Parliamentary inquiries are designed to have matters relating to the procedure, not the substantive debate on these measures. I allow some leeway in that because sometimes something like this pops up. And so I allow by parliamentary inquiry some input. I try to ask you not to be argumentative or duplicative, but if there's a point that needs to be brought out that's critical, I'll let you. Representative Chambers, what purpose do you rise?
It's a real parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
That's good.
On line 59, would not the passage of this particular amendment put half of a sentence, an incomplete sentence, into the bill?
It's going to make it very difficult, but you're exactly right. It would pick up at with the words "provide," and it would make it an incomplete sentence. But I will point out we often adopt things that are not complete sentences. What purpose does Representative Smyrie rise?
Mr. Speaker, I was just going to make the same point. You got to say restore line 59 through 79, starting with the word "the," because it goes back and it strikes. Provide an additional subsidy for operation for any future years of subsequent years, which means, therefore, it's...
I understand. I struggle with this. What purpose does Representative Day rise? Your microphone's up.
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Isn't it true that these amendments were written in order of presumed passage?
Amendments we vote on the amendments. The last is first. The last amendment is the first amendment voted on.
For the parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that this is an attempt to restore language that was accidentally cut from one of the formulae the bill is purporting to use? This restores those concerns.
Chair does not have any opinion as to why that language was stricken or why it would be restored. But as a matter, I'm going to let each and every member determine